Well, for more on the union perspective, we're joined by the National Secretary of the Construction, Forestry, Mining and Energy Union, Dave Noonan. Good morning, Dave. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Miriam.
So, Dave, what's your reaction to the government's decision regarding the mining jobs?
Well, what we've just heard from Mr Champion is a lot of spin and nonsense. The first thing to be said is that there is no requirement on Gina Reinhardt's company to advertise jobs to Australians first. That's absolutely clear, and that was confirmed by Mr Bowen yesterday morning. So Mr Champion is not telling the Australian people the truth when he says that, and he really should go and check his facts. The fact is that there will be a minimum of 1,700 guest workers on this project, but the company can actually employ as many as they like in trades and above classifications. The announcement yesterday is about plant operators, riggers and scaffolders. Now, what we are seeing is a downturn in the construction industry along the eastern seaboard. What we are seeing is massive redundancies in manufacturing. Firms like Qantas, Kurri Aluminium Smelter, BlueScope have laid off lots of workers. The construction workers who are being laid off are job ready and could go to those jobs whenever required, at least those that are prepared to fly in and fly out. Many of the workers from manufacturing will have all or some of the skills that are required. In fact, the workers who are going to be brought from, we are told, China, the Philippines and Indonesia to do this work will need to be trained up to Australian standards and certified in Australia to do the jobs. So the proposition that we've got a skill shortage in this area and that's what's driven this decision is a complete myth.
It's understood from some reports that the Prime Minister wasn't foretold the specifics of this deal. Does that in fact surprise you?
I don't know what the Prime Minister knew. I don't know what the Prime Minister was advised of. That's a matter that Chris Bowen and the Prime Minister can have a discussion about. But I do know this. What we haven't had in this country is a proper debate in the community about why Australian workers should be standing behind guest workers in the line, why we should be going down the road of bonded labour in this country, and why we are not ensuring that the resources boom, which by the way is driving up the Australian dollar and causing a lot of the manufacturing job losses that we're seeing along the east coast, why that resources boom is not actually being used in the interests of all Australians rather than a few greedy, self-interested billionaires. That's what we would expect a Labor government to do.
And just briefly, do you expect to see some opposition from within the Labor caucus regarding this move?
I think that Paul Howe's description of this as political lunacy is absolutely apt. This is an issue which we have been flooded with calls, emails and texts from our members about. I think that there is a huge amount of disquiet amongst working Australians, particularly blue-collar Australians, manufacturing workers and tradies, about why Labor would engage in what is actually a sellout of Australian jobs in the interests of a few greedy billionaires.
Dave Noonan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Miriam.